Patriot Front or Federale Front? I can't tell. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a group of 200 people called the Patriot Front who marched near the Capitol in Washington, D.C. on Saturday, December the 4th, 2021, who are described as a group of white supremacists and neo-Nazis and far-right, all these kind of derogatory terms. Now, are they those things? I'm not really sure. I can't tell. I don't know if they are legitimately some kind of dangerous group or not. But I will say this. Matter of fact, I have a question for you guys that are watching. Have you heard them before? Before this video, have you heard of Patriot Front at any point in time? I'll wait, because I've not. Not until this whole March thing happened and it came across my Twitter feed, never seen them before. So if they were so dangerous, if they posed a big threat to national security, surely they would have been mentioned before, right? I mean, there are certain groups all over the country we know about that are dangerous. You got like Mexican Mafia, what's that? MS-13, Bloods, Crips, the Italian Mafia, even, what's that? The Japanese Mafia, whatever they got over there, Yakuza. I've heard about these actual groups, right? But never have I heard of Patriot Front, who apparently have 41 chapters all over the United States. Why is it of a concern to me? Maybe it's because we have the midterms coming up real soon. And I've said this before, right when midterm elections and definitely 2024 federal, national stuff goes on, you're going to see a lot of these groups come out. You're going to see Black Lives Matter come out because the budget gets released. Okay, you got a big budget. These guys look very well trained. Everybody's nice and fit. You know, the average person in America is not necessarily fit. You know, they got to exercise and get kind of tight. But these guys appear to look like, the fitness standards of the federales. Now, I'm not saying all these guys are feds. I think what's going on here is that a lot of them are regular normies. Some of them may believe in some, I guess you would say, harmful things. And some are going to be feds. Any group like this that is allowed to just persist and they got all these chapters and stuff like that, they're most certainly infiltrated by feds. We saw it with the Proud Boys. We've seen it with other groups. It always is the same thing over and over and over again. The feds are going to be embedded, and then after a while, they'll take them down, and these guys will get football numbers in the penitentiary, 10, 15, 20 years. That's how it goes. The feds know what's going on. They can find you. They can track you. They know what's happening. So if there's anything somewhat illegal going on here, they're going to get locked up. They will not be allowed to persist. The feds are most certainly in that group. I guarantee you, I'm willing to bet all the tea in China on it, right? But to get back to the whole election thing, we're going to see a lot more of this come election time. As we creep closer to the election, closer to 2022, and you start to see the campaigns kick off and get a lot more steam and a lot more cash behind them, we're going to see more of this. And some are going to say, hey, man, take a tinfoil hat off. These guys are legitimate. Well, we just saw what happened in Charlottesville. We just saw that with the whole, what was that? Not Terry McAuliffe. Glenn Youngkin. You had these 3 or 4 morons with the Tiki Torch outfits on right by Glenn Youngkin's bus. And then somebody that was right there, a witness, asked them, hey, what's going on? Who are you guys? We're with Glenn. But then later on, what was it? Lincoln Project, the so-called conservative anti-Trumpers, but ain't nothing but liberal anti-Trumpers. They came out and said they staged that incident to remind people of the Unite the Right. And it just so happens that if you look up these people, the Patriot Front, they started after the Unite the Right rally. Right around that same time, there was one group that splintered off. It became 2 different ones, and the Patriot Front were one of them. Okay, so this, if it was all feds or all a psyop, all fake, I would not be surprised. We've already seen it. We've had people confess to it. It wasn't even like, oh, it's a tinfoil hat conspiracy. You have no proof. They confessed. They said they did it. They didn't say it right away. And those who were right there said, we're with Glenn, meaning Glenn Youngkin, the Republican. So they didn't confess it either, but everybody can see it and knew what was going on. We knew that was fake. We knew it wasn't real. So I think it's the same thing going on here. Again, all these guys probably aren't feds, but a lot of them are. It's like the whole Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping kerfuffle. Remember that? Remember that whole thing? They're talking about, oh, there's this group out there, the Michigan Wolverines. I don't know what they were calling them, right? Whatever they were calling this group, they said they were trying to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer, hold her for ransom, all types of stuff, right? Come to find out of the 20 guys or something that were involved, 18 of them were feds in some kind of way, whether they were directly a federal agent, a federal informant, or something. Most of the guys were feds. Most of them. That's how these kind of white supremacists, white extremist groups work. They're going to be infiltrated very easily. Now, here's a question. Some may ask, well, hey, ABL, why would they do something like this? Why would they have these fake groups out there trying to pose as white extremists or white nationalists, white supremacists? Why are these guys out there doing what they're doing? Well, I think the answer is pretty simple. I think they're trying to scare people. I think they're trying to say, hey, if you keep voting Republican, these guys are going to take over. These guys are going to be the ones that are running the show. You're not going to be safe from the big bad white man if these guys get in there. It ain't nothing but just conditioning, programming that has been in many ways fostered by the mainstream media and a lot of the left. Taking your eyes off the prize, really, because there's all kind of crime happening in the country. There's a spike in crime in the country, 100%. But is it coming from the big bad white man, or is it coming from somewhere else? There may be some white guys that are involved in higher crime, and I know there is actually, but what kind of white guys are we talking about? Are we talking about these guys, these federales allegedly out there marching with their flags and things of that nature? Are we talking about them, or are we talking about your local crackhead or meth addict out there in Portland, Oregon? Are we talking about them or them? Okay, let's just keep it real. If you're talking about danger to anyone's safety, who's going to be a bigger threat? These guys out there with their flags, or your local crack smoker in Portland or Seattle, Washington, or Los Angeles or San Francisco? The answer is clear. I'm not worried about these guys flying their flags, flinging no doo-doo at me, but I know who would do it to me, right? I know who would do it to me. And then, of course, usual suspects, Bloods, Crips, some of the, the Mexican mafia, some of the white mafia, not these guys. Not saying they can't be dangerous, but let's look at where their crime is actually happening right now and where it has been coming from a long period of time. Let's look at that rather than looking at boogeymen that don't truly exist. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about this group, Patriot Front? Are they real? Are they fake? Is it a matter of both being there? Some guys that truly believe in what they're talking about, they truly believe that they're the superior race, all this, that, and the third, mixed with some federales who were just there waiting on them to slip up. Oh, you going to go do what? At what time? They writing everything down in their mind. Or they just, they're wearing a wire. And this ain't the old days where you could detect a wire easily, snatch a shirt off and it's this big box on their chest. No, they could put a small device on you the size of a grain of rice that you would never see, and they can record everything. They got cameras, audio, video, 4K, HD, all that good stuff. So, when I see some of the footage recorded by these cameras and it's blurry, you can't really see, I'm like, come on, man. Technology exists to be able to get very high quality images, high frame rates, high fidelity, all that good stuff for a very low price. It exists. Like the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing. Wasn't there some federal technology in the sky, a federal drone or something like that, watching the whole situation? Maybe I'm wrong about that, but whoever had the drone in the sky caught some 4K HD quality. So that technology does exist, and it's also on a small form factor, a small scale, to where you can't even see it. So the feds are most certainly in these groups. I've seen feds try to infiltrate all kind of stuff, but I won't go down that road, so I digress. But what say you? Do you think that I'm right or wrong? You guys know where I'm at. I think that there is a a reason why this is happening. You got the elections coming up. You got these bills coming out. It's all about control. It's all about power. And at the end of the day, it's ultimately about cash. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.